This topic is called naming the quadrant or axis of a point given its graph. So I'm going to just write a few notes for you. So this is a coordinate plane. Coordinate starts with the letter coordinate C. So if you have your coordinate plane, this is your X and this is your Y. If you're to write a capital C on this plane, you would write it like that. You start, so the C where you start is quadrant one. You go through two and then three, and then end up in four. In quadrant one, both the X and the Y are positive. Quadrant two, the X is negative because we have to go left, and the Y is positive because we go up. Because we go left and down to get to quadrant three, they're both negative. And then in quadrant four, the X is positive, but the Y is negative. Now, if we're on the x-axis, so if we're on the x-axis, our y value will be 0. So we'll be given an x number, but the y value will be 0. And then if we're on the y-axis, if we're given the point, the x will be 0 and we'll be given a y. But when you're actually shown the graph, you can see if it's on the axis or not. So H is in the second quadrant. Okay, so they're not going in order counterclockwise. So we'll start with F, and that is in quadrant four. So it looks like it's important to look at what letter they're showing and then find it on the graph. And there you know is quadrant two. R is on the y-axis. Now here's a hint. You can see a little Y right here that shows you the y-axis and the little X right there. So because it's on that line, R is on the y-axis. And then Z, the last one, is in quadrant three. Okay, I'll just leave my notes up here because it's helpful to have those. So P.S. Please subscribe to my channel, like any videos that you find helpful. Point G is in quadrant, is on the x-axis. You see that it's on that line. Point L is in quadrant three, Q is in quadrant two, and Z is in quadrant one. Okay, that's the end of the lesson.